So we're going to look quickly at transparency and blending mode. So I have three different scenarios here. Now, opacity, transparency are interchangeable words. Adobe uses the word transparency sometimes to mean how see-through something is, and opaque or opacity sometimes to also represent how see-through things are. So if you think of it as a continuum, things that are transparent are at the one end, water, and things that are opaque are at the other end, milk. So 0% opacity means 100% transparency. So to change the transparency of something, if I just select one of these t-shirt designs and I change up here, I have opacity. I also have an opacity panel here. I have opacity here. It's all over the place. If I just start changing that opacity, you can see the whole thing changes opacity. So that would be something you would expect to happen. But then if I click on the word opacity here, I have a repetition of the transparency panel, and you'll see that I have this blending mode, and it's set to normal at the moment. So if you're not familiar with blending modes, it's basically a way for the current selected object to blend its colors with whatever is underneath that using particular formulas. The most commonly used blending modes being multiply, which means that the darkest colors on the selected object that are darker than the colors below will prevail. Screen, which is the opposite, which means colors that are lighter in the selected object will prevail. And then overlay is kind of the in-between. The darkest colors and the lightest colors are are overridden, and the midtones are preserved. But that's a very rough kind of explanation. So in this case, we want the lighter colors in this t-shirt design to prevail, but we want to get rid of the black. We want the black to be transparent so we can see the t-shirt below. And just one word of warning here: if your document is not in RGB, you may not get a good result. CMYK, sometimes the black is not fully dropped out. So in a case like this, you would need to convert your document by going to File, Document Color Mode, make sure it's RGB. And then I'm going to select the artwork, which is basically a raster image. I'm going to go to opacity, and then I'm going to change normal to screen. And you can see that it drops out the black and keeps the white, because screen means the lighter colors on the selected object prevail, providing they're lighter than the layer underneath or the object underneath. Let's have a look at this one. So this is the opposite. We want the black to be retained, but we want the white to become transparent. So we're going to use multiply. And this is probably a more common way of using blending modes for something like this. Okay, so that's multiply and screen. Now in this case, just to show you that sometimes it doesn't always give you what you want, here I have a multicolor version of the logo against a teal t-shirt. So if I choose multiply, the colors kind of don't work so well. It becomes a bit muted and muddy. If I choose screen, that definitely doesn't work. If I choose overlay, also doesn't work. So sometimes it doesn't work. In this case, what I would probably do is do an image trace. I would go to my image trace settings here, and I would choose, I guess, a 6-color option. In this case, it depends on what you're doing. And then over here under advanced, I would choose to ignore the background color, and then to expand it. So this is now a vector object, and I've got rid of that white background. So this would be a solution here, which is not using blending modes at all. Okay, so just a quick introduction to transparency and blending modes in Illustrator.